You ever wonder if something small, something you do every day, could actually change the world? Well, we're about to dive into a powerful set of lessons born from some of the toughest military training out there that suggest it absolutely can. This idea comes from Admiral William H. McRaven. He's a Navy SEAL who gave one of the most incredible commencement speeches, well, ever. And his whole point was that changing the world doesn't start with some huge, grand gesture. Nope, it starts with simple, foundational things.
So Admiral McRaven basically boiled down his 37 years as a Navy SEAL into 10 life-changing lessons. Now, I know what you're thinking. SEAL training, what does that have to do with me? But he promises us these lessons are universal. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do, these apply to every single one of us.
So let's start where he starts, with the bedrock of it all. The first few lessons are all about building that personal foundation you're going to need before you can even think about taking on the world. It all begins with three things: discipline, teamwork, and character.
Okay, lesson 1 sounds almost laughably simple. Make your bed. Every single morning. Seems kind of trivial, right? But here's the magic behind it. When you complete that first task, you get a little jolt of pride. It's a small win. And that small win encourages you to do another task, and then another. It's proof that the little things really do matter. All right, for lesson 2, picture this. You're in a tiny rubber boat staring at 10-foot waves crashing down. The only way you're getting through that chaos is if every single person paddles together, in perfect sync. If just one person messes up, the whole boat gets thrown right back to where you started. It's a perfect metaphor for teamwork. And that's the whole point. Nobody gets through the massive waves of life by themselves. You just can't. If you want to get where you're going, you need people, friends, family, colleagues to help you paddle. It's just a fundamental truth. You know, the best boat crew in the Admiral's entire class was nicknamed the Munchkin crew. They were all the shortest guys, none of them over 5'5". Everybody made fun of them, but these guys, they out-paddled, outran, and outswam everyone. Their secret weapon wasn't their size, it was their incredible willpower. And that brings us to lesson 3. SEAL training is what you'd call a great equalizer. It doesn't care where you came from, how much money you have, or how big you are. The only thing that truly matters is your will to succeed. The real measure of a person is, and always will be, the size of their heart. But life isn't just about having heart and working together, is it? It's about what happens when you get knocked down. So this next set of lessons is all about facing those inevitable failures and hardships and actually turning them into your biggest strengths. Okay, so in training, there was this punishment they called the sugar cookie. If your uniform had one little thing wrong with it, you had to run into the freezing ocean, then roll around on the beach until you were covered head to toe in sand. You'd spend the whole day cold, wet, and miserable. It felt pointless, like all your hard work didn't matter. But that was the lesson. Sometimes life just isn't fair. And the takeaway here is so powerful. You just can't let unfairness get to you. Sometimes you can do everything perfectly and still end up a sugar cookie. The only thing you can do is accept it, brush yourself off, and keep moving forward.
And then there was the circus. Sounds fun, right? Well, it wasn't. If you failed any event during the day, you got a special invitation to 2 extra hours of the most grueling exercises you can imagine. It was designed to break you. But a funny thing happened. The guys who got sent to the circus the most ended up becoming the strongest.
So the lesson becomes crystal clear. Don't you dare be afraid of failure. Life is going to throw circuses at you. And yeah, they're going to be painful, but every single one is a chance to build some serious inner strength. For years, the obstacle course record seemed unbeatable. Then one day, a trainee got to the hardest obstacle, a 200-foot rope slide, and did something nobody had ever done. Instead of carefully going hand over hand, he just launched himself and slid down headfirst. It was a massive risk, but it completely shattered the old record. Sometimes, you gotta be willing to slide down headfirst. All right, so we've moved past general hardship, and now we're heading into straight-up fear. These next lessons are about what you do when you're face-to-face with the sharks, the bullies, and the absolute darkest moments. This is where you find out what you're really made of. During night swims, in waters known to have sharks, the SEALs were taught a very specific strategy. If a shark starts circling you, do not swim away. You stand your ground. And if it comes at you, you summon every ounce of your strength and you punch it right in the snout. The world is full of sharks, and you have to have the courage to face them down. Now, for one of the most intense lessons, let's set the scene. Imagine you're a SEAL. You have to swim 2 miles underwater at night to attack an enemy ship. Your target is the keel. That's the very bottom of the ship, deep in the water. As you swim under that massive ship, every bit of light just vanishes. It is pitch black. You can't see your hand in front of your face. The noise from the ship's engines is deafening. You're completely disoriented. This is the moment where it can all go wrong. And that is the whole point. In that moment of complete darkness and chaos, you have to be calm. You have to be composed. You have to pull on all of your training, all of your strength. You have to be your absolute best when things are at their absolute worst. You've probably heard of Hell Week. At one point, the trainees were forced into freezing cold mud up to their necks for 15 hours straight. Guys were about to quit, morale was gone, and then one voice just started singing. It was awful, totally out of tune, but it was hopeful. And pretty soon, the whole class was singing. Suddenly, the cold didn't seem quite so bad. One person really can give hope to everyone.
And that brings us to the final lesson, maybe the most important one of all. After all the discipline, the teamwork, the resilience, the courage, it all comes down to this one single commitment. Right in the middle of the SEAL training rounds, there's a brass bell. Anytime, day or night, a trainee can walk up to that bell and ring it. If you ring it, it's over. The pain stops. No more cold, no more yelling, no more misery. All you have to do is ring the bell. It is the easy way out.
And lesson 10 is this: never, ever, ever ring that bell. So let's run through them all one more time. Make your bed. Find someone to help you paddle. Measure people by the size of their heart. Get over being a sugar cookie. Don't be afraid of the circuses. Slide down obstacles head first. Don't back down from the sharks. Be your very best in the darkest moments. Sing when you're up to your neck in mud. And finally, never, ever give up. The Admiral believes that if you live your life by these 10 simple lessons, you absolutely can change your own life for the better. And in doing that, you just might change the world. So the final question really isn't about what you might accomplish. It's much deeper. If you do these things, who will you become?